Hello everyone, my name is Aiki, and welcome back to the world of Final Fantasy. Today, I'm going to go over what happened in Saronia during the lost, corrupted footage, and we are going to continue on with the story, hopefully, if it doesn't take too long. But the reason why I'm in the twins room here is because I thought it was going to be a nice, atmospheric little place to be, and I was kind of hoping that this TV would allow me to rewatch past cutscenes, but apparently not. Apparently not. Sometimes games let you do that, but not this one. Anyways, what we can do, however, is go over to the adventure log here, and we are on the chapter The Thane and the Knave. So it's going to be story time. Synopsis. So yeah, after we left the Icicle Ridge, we got to Saronia Harbor, which was a city that was almost encased in ice. It was very cold, as Lan made sure to point out to us. And when he got inside in the first cutscene, as he was complaining about the cold weather, a small little brownish, blackish, grayish cat walked by and growled at him, and it was more of a humorous scene than anything, but that happened, and yeah. After that, we talked to a lot of the NPCs around town, and we learned that the Federation Army is basically, what they've done is they created a sort of system of civic ranks, and they basically reward any civilians that attain a higher rank. So it's almost like a status of being an elite. I kind of related this whole system to what is familiar to me in ancient civilizations like ancient Greece, where you have these different social statuses, like very apparent different social ranks, where these civilians could basically aim to become an elite. And what they would do is basically they would do anything that benefits the Federation Army, and they would be rewarded with that sort of position. And they called that position an architect. So people who would it's hard to explain it, actually. I'm actually going to travel over to Saronia. I actually should have just started here. But yeah, we're going to head over to Saronia, and there's actually an item or a poster here that really explains the whole thing very well. And I'm going to read that to you. So we looked at this poster, and so it says, "Find your architect spark. Now you too finally have a chance at winning the job that has been at the top of everyone's list for 15 years running. This book will provide all the answers and help you climb the ladder to success. Crank up that civic rank. You can't make the secret sauce of architect stardom without the right kitchen, so make sure you live in a Federation town. Your goal is to improve a metric known as your civic rank. Good citizens work hard for the Federation, either by operating facilities, keeping towns in order, or bringing in new people under the Federation's wing. The more you do for the Federation, the more the Federation can do for you, so crank up that civic rank. The Cathedral, your magic moment. Citizens who attain a high enough civic rank are invited to the nearest cathedral, where they will be formally initiated into the Bahamutian army as architects. Don't get too used to the cathedral though, because you get to live in much posher accommodations, a castle. A life of prosperity and security can be yours, and all you have to do is give the Federation's cause a little push. Kiss those worries goodbye. And for true glory seekers, is a life of bliss as an architect not enough for you? Then strap in, Miss or Mr. Ambition, because your ride to the top is not over. Rack up enough achievements in the Bahamutian army, and you will be promoted to an even higher station. You might even end up shoulder to shoulder with the heralds. You go-getter, you. The Federation is your ticket to supreme happiness. So this poster is very much propaganda for the Federation Army, and it sort of explains everything I was trying to explain with my terrible words. But I sort of related this idea of the Federation Army almost being, I mean, they're pretty much a tyranny here, and almost like what they're doing is they are giving civilians a sort of incentive in order to raise their status. And this kind of behavior basically gives the civilians something to do. It distracts them from what the Federation Army is actually doing in the shadows, like how bad they are. It forces them to basically be distracted by something that is almost irrelevant, and forces them to help the Federation Army, and it prevents them from banding together, forming revolts and stuff like that. Another thing I pointed out that was interesting was the idea of these civilians being called architects, these high civic rank being called architects, because we know that in ancient civilizations, what tyrants did very commonly was they basically turned people into slaves and had them build. And they did a lot of building projects, whether it was walls, temples, pyramids, anything like that. By giving these people labor, this distracts them once again from having enough time to properly form a rebellion or a revolt, and this keeps the power within the administration and the tyrants themselves. So I was commenting a lot on that. I also noticed that there was an upside down sheep here, like a sheep on its head. I didn't know what to say to that. I still don't know what to say to that. It's just a really weird game. Whatever. We also headed down into the shanty town here. And basically these guys are the lower class citizens of Saronia, and they're here basically to scare the middle class and showing the middle class that, hey, if you don't try to attain a higher civic rank, this is where you're gonna be. You're gonna be one of these guys sitting out here with a cat on your head looking out into the ocean. And yeah, that's not some place you want to be. So it kind of keeps everything in line. There was also a treasure chest here, which I opened by turning into a giant, and it had it gave me the Occult Fan Issue 2. And what this says is, today we'll be looking at the so-called treasure ship, whose phantom-like appearances have been causing bedlam in the port town of Saronia. Occult Fan has obtained exclusive info revealing the ship is decked out in jewels, and speaking of decks, this galleon's gangways are said to be overflowing with treasure. Well, there was only one way to find out if this fairy tale was full of fairy fail, and so we shoved off in search of the truth. But here was the funny thing. A local fisherman claimed that no one had ever seen the ship out on the water. Then where was it seen? We asked incisively. Well, here's the scoop. Whenever this treasure ship needs repairs or improvements, it docks at a dungeon-like harbor. Everyone who has seen it has reported hearing chimes. Some have tried forcing an encounter by ringing a series of bells, but to this, the ship does not respond. After thanking the fisherman for his revelatory contribution, we decided to get our quachos in a row. What had we learned? First, there was a clear connection between the chimes and the ship's appearance, but random bell ringing wasn't cutting it. And speaking of cutting, that was when my traveling companion, Wedge, cut in. Maybe you have to ring them in the right order. Great goblins, what if he was right? That would explain why the ship hadn't come. No one knew the right order. If the person chiming the ship home lives somewhere in Saronia, then it is possible the port town is hiding some kind of vital clue. We resumed our investigation with new vigor. Reporting by Biggs. So, we found this issue by Biggs and Wedge, our best Final Fantasy friends, and I speculate that the combination of bells has something to do with this graffiti here. 1 seaweed, 2 clams, 3 fishes. But we didn't really figure out what this meant or anything at all. So there's that. I think that's everything that we did in this town. Up until basically what we did was after that it triggered a cutscene. The three of us were talking here for a bit and decided to head up the stairs to talk to the Thane and report that we were sent here by Cornelia. Now, hopefully, the adventure log tells us exactly what happened once we went to the Thane. Chapter 7, The Thane and the Knave. With Icicle Ridge behind them, the party finally arrives in Saronia. Twins part ways with Refia and prepare to meet the Thane. Along the way, they decide to gather some information from the locals. Rain and Lan learn from the townsfolk that a great social and economic divide has appeared between those who accept the Federation and those who do not. Although Saronia's annexation to the Federation was recent, the difference between these two classes of people is already readily apparent. Somewhat disturbed by what they have seen, Rain and Lan nevertheless continue on to see the Thane. At the entrance to the Thane's manor, the twins find Refia arguing heatedly with the guards. They have refused to allow her to visit the Thane, her own uncle. The twins present Princess Sarah's letter and manage to escort Refia past the protesting guards. Their audience with the Thane takes a sour turn when they realize Refia's uncle has been replaced by some sort of Bahamutian soldier in disguise. Although the three manage to defeat this false Thane, he quickly rises as if immortal. What happens next shocks them all the more. A sinister, masked figure emerges from the shadows and fells the Thane with a single bolt of piercing light. This figure, Seguaridus, is incredibly powerful, and most certainly not a friend. As he advances inexorably on Rain, Lan, and Refia, salvation comes from the most unexpected of places, a cat. With a flash of powerful magic, the cat buys the beleaguered party the moment they need to escape. It turns out their knight in furry armor was Charlotta, who had been shadowing them in cat form to make sure they didn't get into any trouble. After fleeing to the outskirts of Saronia in safety, Charlotta hands Rain and Lan some magical monocles and insists they use them to examine the town. The lens reveal a colossal anchor driven straight into the heart of Saronia. Attached to the anchor is a vast chain that rises into the distant heavens. Charlotta explains that every town and city the Federation has annexed is bound by these invisible chains. In all the confusion, Rain and Lan have forgotten to gather any information on the League of S, but they cheer up when Charlotta tells them that she has a friend who can get in touch with the League. Having left the rest of the diplomacy in Charlotta's capable hands, Rain and Lan resume their Mirage collecting journey. Their next destination? The Low Seas. And that brings us to where we are now, sort of. The cutscene was pretty good. If you haven't watched the cutscene in the description below yet, I advise you to check it out. I'm going to be linking to gameplay that hopefully no one is talking over and you're just gonna watch the cutscenes like that. But the villain, Seguaridus, very noticeably creepy, a very cool villain, and I'm excited to meet him again. Charlotta's appearance was surprising, for sure, and pretty impactful when she came in and just bursted Seguaridus down. I kind of screamed out during the cutscene in my commentary that I kind of suspected it was Charlotta, mostly because she is, if you don't know, Charlotta is from Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Was End of Strife or something? It was EOS. I don't know because I haven't played the game. It's on the Wii and the DS. I've only played the original Crystal Chronicles on the GameCube, and I actually don't remember anything from it either, so don't ask me about that. I actually researched Charlotta before that episode, so I knew she was from Crystal Chronicles, and I knew she had something to do with being a cat girl of some sorts. So I kind of suspected that after I saw the cat. Refia, if you don't know, is from FF3 DS. I think it's only the DS version, because in the original FF3 they didn't have the names, like they didn't have Lunith or anything like that. So she's always had a close place in my heart because of that. And let's go ahead and check out the Who's Who. So we got a lot of new things here. We got Tama. And it looks like there's something new here. Oh, here. Tama maintains an extremely high number of thresholds and commands a large repertoire of talents. However, depending on the world she visits, she must limit her talents to a smaller subset. For example, in Grimoire, Tama can help Lan and Rain out by negating their deaths or other failures through micro-reversals of time or control space, as with gate travel. But she is required to pay for these actions in lives or souls. But all the same, her powers rival that of a god's. No wonder she's prevented from using them all at once. And these I've actually not looked at yet, so these are going to be new. This guy is Sigwardus, by the way. Look how creepy he looks. Okay, so the Thane of Saronia, 45, Refia's uncle. He was basically the Bahamutian soldier was disguised as this guy. So Refia's uncle Taka was merely the guise for a Bahamutian soldier, but not just any soldier. Unlike the other Bahamutian grunts Lan and Rain have encountered, this one is capable of thought, speech, and self-determination. No wonder Sigwardus entrusted him with an entire nation in the Federation. So, Final Fantasy III as Taka in the remake. We have the Warrior of Light, 20, stalwart soldier, role model, and brigade captain. This legendary hero fights for truth, justice, and the Cornelian way. When we first met the Warrior of Light, he was just another brigade captain in Cornelia's royal army. However, after being touched by the twins' mysterious light, he awakened as a champion. Originated from Final Fantasy as one of the 4 heroes, and also Dissidia, Final Fantasy, as a distinct character. Yes, he didn't really have this kind of Warrior of Light appearance until Dissidia. We have Princess Sarah, which we looked at, Chocolate. We have Yuna, 17, Valifor, leader of Grimoire's few summoners, mature and responsible for her age, seems kind of tense, and the Fireflies seen with her are not the ones you know. Final Fantasy X, or Final Fantasy X. I don't know why I pronounced X there. We have Refia, 15, wields healing magic, gentle and kind. She is the daughter of Saronia. Refia was chased out of the house and home by her only living relative, her uncle Taka. Given no reason for her exile, she did her best to keep her spirits up and forget her troubles. However, when she saw the woes the people of Saronia face as a Federation state, she could remain silent no longer. Ignoring the danger, she left to give her uncle a peace of mind. But it was already too late. Once again, from the remake, we have Charlotta. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Echoes of Time. So, redacted by the young lady in question, apparently really old. She is calm and composed due to age and experience, has a menacing streak, zero patience for foolishness, and runs an inn. No one knows why. She's a kitty? Wait, why can't she change into a feline? In her own words, cats get around. Not the clearest answer, but it's all you're going to get. Interesting fact, Charlotta originally thought of Refia as nothing more than a stray cat she brought in from the cold. It's probably for the best that Refia never caught on. Oh, well, now you can see what she looks like as a cat. Yeah, I can't change their appearances. We have Cacti Conductor, Master Tomberry, Choco Chick, Ifrit, Shiva, Ramu. Alright, let's see our antagonists here. Masked Woman. Mysterious mask, mysterious everything. Seems to be female, travels with a carbuncle. We got Brandalus. Immeasurable. Black armor, horns, 6 wings cloaking his bodies. Plumed Knight, winged armor, claws, female, has full command of the skies. And Knight in the Golden Mask. This guy is Sigwardus. mask-like face, no discernible torso, hints of iambic pentameter. Okay. Well. I think that is everything to catch you guys up. But yeah, once again, I'll say it again, if you haven't watched the cutscenes, I definitely recommend you check them out. And the boss fight too, if it's in the gameplay, because the boss fight, he actually wasn't really that hard, I would say. The guy has a critical strike, which he uses to instantly topple your stack, and sometimes that can crit and basically one-shot your stack, so that sucks. But if you keep on top of the menuing and you use enough potions and unstack and restack respectively, you'll be able to outlast him, really. He has around 2,000 something HP or 3,000, so you just have to keep whittling him down and he will fall. But that's going to be it for this episode. I'm really sorry once again that I had to basically just narrate through the entire thing. I wish I had footage to talk over, but well, it's unfortunate that it got corrupted. We got the magic monocles from Charlotta, and that's what we looked through in order to see the giant anchor falling from the sky, or have already fell from the sky. And next time, I think we will take our time going through. We will actually head into that gate with the girl who forgot her name, try the intervention quest, because we got another champion medal for Raphia, so we want to do that, as well as the Warrior of Light one. And I'm also going to try to check out the Merc Rift with the Behemoth, and we will progress from there. Hopefully this is going to be the last time any footage is corrupted. I will do my very best to make sure everything is fine before saving again. And I'm going to be recording one episode at a time, hopefully. But thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.